safe.
In my head, because there are so many things that I left unsaid.
Go, Angel, go! Goes out here wide open, and an easy score.
And this is Allen Hilliard here with Coach Barkley for going into the final week of the season there. It's been not the best season in the world, but there's been some positives coming out of this. And, coming out of the injuries here, what are some of the things after last week? Overall, was last week a fairly healthy week for you?
Well, we lost Braylon Scott probably for the year. He's getting his MRI today. We're seems like every week we're losing somebody for a while. Ian Shepard, depending on how he reacts in the next few days. Offensive line's pretty thin at this point. Of course, Michael went out in the third quarter, I believe, and so we'll see how he progresses through the week. So right now, we're going into week 9, not full strength, but I don't know who's really in going full strength into week 9. So we got some kids that are going to step up. They're going to get their opportunity and go out there and see what they can do on Friday.
All right, and then looking at this week, not that it doesn't matter what happens this week, but the districts are fairly set now where you're probably going to wind up going to Ozark unless something drastic happens with points. But right now, things not changing about that.
Well, it'll depend on because Kickapoo and Ozark play today, or this Friday. So whoever loses that one is probably who we will play moving forward into the district. And we still got a week to prepare for Lebanon, who's a good football team, and they're playing their best ball probably right now, and we just got to have a good week of practice.
All right, so this week going into that, knowing Lebanon, a conference opponent going back 100 years literally to the Frisco League days. So how does that change things, facing, kind of the last rival that you had from the COC and mid-Mo days there?
You start the first 4 weeks playing the COC, but crossing over to the west side, and obviously us being new to the conference, the first 4 weeks were all new teams, new scout, new everything for us on that side. And, we end the season with Lebanon, who both sides know each other very well and have played each other many times for a long time. And, it's good to play somebody familiar ending the season. And, Coach Christian does a great job there, and he has done that for a while now. And our kids, they know a lot about Lebanon, so hopefully what we're going over this week is pretty familiar with them.
All right, and then last week, looking at the game there, some pretty good passing plays that we didn't really see this season here. Was that something that was added or just something that kind of came out of opportunity last week?
Well, we got behind the chains a lot. There were far too many penalties called against us, and we got to where we were more into passing down and had some success during that period of time at the beginning of the game. So when the second half kind of came out and Michael got injured, it's kind of, here we go, let's see what we can do. And our kids did a great job of it wasn't perfect by any stretch of the means, but they made plays. They got the opportunity. They took the best of it, and we're going to build off that and continue going into week 9.
All right, and then looking at the defensive part of last week there, quite a few points by Kickapoo, but overall, improving, it seems like, on some aspects of the game.
It wasn't perfect by any stretch. There were stretches in the game where, our defense played very well. We were able to get interceptions, stop them on fourth down. We struggled a bit with the quarterback run. So, there's definitely some things that we got to work on. Tackling, for instance. the list goes on. But, we got to get to the point where we are understanding what our job is and do our job and be disciplined on both sides of the ball and quit having silly mistakes or bonehead mistakes and, playing as a group or a unit rather than individual and worrying about stuff like that. But, we got some good kids and they're working hard and they're looking forward to it.
All right, and it's that time of year when the JV side of things is kind of winding down also, and you got to start looking at, is there a few players that you start pulling up for that, or do you just kind of stick with what you have to keep on going forward here?
Well, with the way the injuries have been hitting us, some of those guys that could possibly move up are already playing for us. So that's one thing that we'll look at next week as coaches. After everything's all said, is there anybody that we want to bring up practice squad-wise or give them an opportunity to see what they can do on a Friday night? We haven't really discussed much of that because that's in our future plans. So I'm sure it'll be discussed next week, and then we'll just move on from there.
All right, and then looking ahead, not too far ahead, but going in as a 4 or 5 seed football game there. The winner will eventually head to Nixa to play them once again. Kind of how do you prepare for that? Do you just have the kids prepare for this week and the next week? Or do you have them say, hey, here's the deal?
Well, you definitely can't look past your next opponent. But, we're taking it day by day, let alone week by week. There's 2 football games that would have to occur between that opportunity, and we can only control what we can control, and that's preparing for Lebanon and see what happens on Friday.
All right, Coach, appreciate it. Good luck in the game. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Alan.
CSZ Excavating. Contact William Alexander at 573-308-7635 for all your excavating, dirt moving needs, whatever it may be. Give him a call. He's a proud supporter of Allen Hilliard Sports and the Dixon Bulldogs. The Bank of Crocker since 1911 has been a proud supporter of Allen Hilliard Sports this year and the Waynesville Football Tigers. They have multiple locations. They've been around since 1911 in Crocker, Missouri. Member FDIC. Give them a call for all your banking needs and other questions you may have.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
The Dixon School District is a proud supporter of Allen Hilliard Sports and their coverage of Dixon Bulldogs sports, including baseball, softball, basketball, volleyball, and more. Be sure to give them a call for your educational needs, and if you have any questions.
My heart rages around like an ocean in my head, because there are so many things that I left unsaid.
Wide open and an easy score.
We are back here, Alan.
The following is a presentation of the Missouri Sports Network.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to High School Game Day here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Certainly glad that you've tuned in, and for wherever you're tuning in, hey, Lionel Labor's Local 663, remind us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. My name is Guy Newcomb here. I'll be with you for the next few minutes. We'll visit with our Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks High School Athletes of the Week. We'll run down the football scores from last night. We'll talk a little bit about the softball quarterfinals coming up And then Allen Hilliard from Allen Hilliard Sports will join us to talk a little bit about the football district implications here as we go into the final week of the regular season in high school football. But first, on the football scoreboard from last night, brought to you by Bambino's Italian Cafe. Bambino's Italian Cafe at Lone Pine and East Battlefield, where we host the Quarterback Club every Monday at 11:30. Coaches begin speaking at noon. Come in, get you a great meal, hear from coaches, and a great time for fellowship. Just 2 remaining at the high school Quarterback Club, and the Springfield Area Tip-Off Club will begin on December the 2nd. First off, on the scoreboard, football scoreboard from last night, it was Ava over Willow Springs 54-8. New Madrid County defeats Portageville 28-27. Fort Zumwalt North over Timberland 42-6. Kirkwood defeats Hazelwood Central 58-0. It was University City over Jennings 12-8. And Pierce City defeats Stockton 22-14. St. Clair over Owensville 63-7. Van Far over Scotland County 28-10. Washington defeats Howell Central 34-13. As we mentioned, coming up on the quarterfinals this weekend for fall softball in the Class 1 quarterfinals, you've got Norwood traveling to St. Elizabeth. That'll be Stanberry at Princeton. Northeast Cairo is at Paris. And La Plata is at Gallatin in Class 1 quarterfinal action. In Class 2 quarterfinal action, it'll be Chaffee at Ellsbury. Mid-Buchanan is at Carrollton. Lynn is at Hartville. Highland is at South Harrison. And in Class 3 state quarterfinals in softball, Saxony Lutheran is at Sullivan. Oak Grove is at Savannah. That'll be played in St. Joe. Winfield is at Centralia. Blair Oaks is at Nevada. And in Class 4 quarterfinals, it'll be Notre Dame, Cape Girardeau at Jorge Zoo Academy. Belton Westminster Christian will be at Incarnate Word. And Father Tolton will be at Bolivar. In Class 5 state quarterfinal, softball action will be Jackson at Lafayette Wildwood. Ray-Pec is at Liberty North. Francis Howe is at Helias. And Kickapoo will be at Rockbridge. All that taking place on Saturday. Winners of those quarterfinal games go to the semifinals at Killian Sports Complex in Springfield, Missouri. We're going to take a quick time out. We get back here. We will bring in Allen Hilliard from Allen Hilliard Sports, and we'll talk a little high school Week 9 football after these messages from the Missouri Sports Network.
I'll have the avocado toast minus the avocado.
So, toast.
Yeah. Everything is so expensive these days.
Hey, Chevy gets it. That's why they're keeping prices down to earth, like on the most affordable EV in America. A super strong and capable Chevy truck.
And a high-tech Chevy SUV. Why is Chevy making affordable vehicles connected by OnStar? It's so together, we can do more.
We believe banking should make your life greater. It starts with affordable options to meet today's needs and tomorrow's dreams. From smart account options that fit your style to flexible loans for what comes next. It means convenient ways to access and manage your money whenever you need it and wherever you're headed. Most of all, it takes great support. Someone you can count on for trusted guidance and to be there for you every step of the way. Great options, great convenience, great support for life. Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate! Home Plate Grill in Dixon, Missouri is a proud sponsor of Allen Hilliard Sports. Give them a call at 573-759-3210 for all your to-go needs. Some of the best burgers, grilled cheese, whatever you need, they probably have it.
The score of any athletic event is generally forgotten over time.
but the actions of players, coaches, and spectators leave lasting impressions. The next time you attend a high school game, think of how history will remember you. Choose good sportsmanship and help rekindle the spirit of citizenship. Remember, the lessons you teach today will help develop better citizens in our communities for tomorrow. This message has been brought to you by your friends at the Missouri State High School Activities Association and this local radio station.
Allen Hilliard Sports would like to thank the Arena League and the Ozark Slunkers and the Kansas City Goats for all of their support this year and allowing me to do the broadcast for them. Those games can be found on the Arena League YouTube page for full broadcast, and then highlights can be found on Allen Hilliard Sports. Also, be sure to check out Allen Hilliard Sports on YouTube and on MSHSAA TV this year, as many of our broadcasts will be broadcast on both. Also, check us out on Facebook on Allen Hilliard Sports. Be sure to check out the Missouri Sports Network for all of your high school updates from across Missouri. Guy Newcomb doing that, and he also does a radio show on Friday nights. Keeps track of all the scores, interviews coaches. Check them out, MissouriSportsNetwork.com. And I want to thank you from Allen Hilliard Sports and myself, Allen Hilliard, for watching today and listening, however you're taking in this content here. And remember to support those local kids, local schools, local businesses that help make everything happen. We hope to see you live during some of our broadcasts.
My heart rages around like an ocean in my head, because there are so many things that I left unsaid.
Go, Waynesville, go! Was up and wide open, and an easy score.
Hey, welcome back to High School Game Day here on the Missouri Sports Network, presented by Doak Propane. Doak Propane, for all your propane needs in Bolivar, Missouri, Polk County, and surrounding counties, call the folks at Doak. Also presented by Lyona Labor's Local 663, who remind us to drive safely in those work zones. Those folks want to go home to their families as well. And the Bank of Billings. Bank of Billings, established 1889, the oldest bank in Christian County. We welcome in Allen Hilliard from Allen Hilliard Sports. Allen, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great there. How are you doing today?
Doing awfully well. You've got a game tonight there between Waynesville and Lebanon. Tell us first off, this is maybe one of the oldest rivalries in the state of Missouri.
This is one that goes back to before football days, to the early Frisco League in the 1920s, when they played basketball and many sports outdoors back in those days.
You know, this is week 9 here. It's the last regular season game before they pair up in districts. We'll take a look at a few, but anything kind of jump out at you? I know you're paying particular attention to that Waynesville district, and that could have some games tonight, could have some fluctuations there as part of who wins and loses.
Yes, the Tigers will be on the road either way, but they don't know where, because Kickapoo and Ozark both play each other tonight. Both, I believe, are 3-5. So essentially, they will travel to the lower seed of that, which will be the 4-5 seed game, and then the 3 seed will travel to Joplin. So big implications in that district of who gets to play kind of the tougher first game, but then the winner of the 4-5 seed will, of course, go on to still see Nixa down the road.
We've got you're just looking through, a few districts right now. That Class 1 District 2, which Tipton right now is the 1 seed, probably not going to lose that spot. But that 2-3 right there is Salisbury and West Strand. Salisbury being number 2, West Strand number 3. They play each other tonight. So West Strand's got an opportunity there to jump Salisbury into that 2 spot. And if seeds hold, then they would host West Strand in that semifinal game of that district.
Yep, exactly. And then also you have Fayette and Russellville both playing too there. I'm not sure if Fayette's got enough to jump ahead either, but seems like most of those teams, several of those teams in that district are, in fact, playing each other, including several districts around them in Class 1. Because we have,
moving on. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, because in District 3, for example, Marionville, which has a good chance of staying the number 1 seed there, they play Miller, which that still will affect Miller depending on the outcome. And then Class 1 District 4, Putnam County and Milan, also same district, both play 5 and 3. So, again, quite a few of these matchups, because a lot of these towns are, close to each other, or they're very similar rivals in these classes.
Yeah, and going back to that Class 1 District 3 there where Marionville's the 1 seed, they're not going to lose that, I don't believe, even if they lose to Miller, which I highly doubt as well. But you've got a Pierce City team that's already won. They played last night. They won. They're just 19 points behind Windsor. If Windsor should happen to stumble tonight, and they play Crest Ridge, a Crest Ridge team that's 2-6, if they would happen to stumble there, Pierce City could move out of that 5 spot up to that 4 spot, which would give them a home game as well. And then you've got that Class 2 District 5, which is Lamar right now is number 1, but they're 5 and 3. And they're not even a full point ahead of Warsaw, who's 8 and 0. Now, Lamar plays Seneca tonight, and that's going to be a tough challenge for Lamar. I mean, I know it's Lamar, but Seneca is playing as well as anybody in the state in their class. If they would happen to get beat by Seneca and Warsaw wins tonight, then I think Warsaw could end up in that number 1 spot, which means Lamar would have to go to them in that district championship.
Exactly. Seneca has become one of those teams this year in Southwest Missouri that has really exceeded their expectations and really had some big upsets, and probably one of the top 10 teams in Southwest Missouri.
Yeah, when you talk about a Seneca team in that Class 3, their district there, I don't think they'll have much trouble getting out of that district. And in reality, in the Southwest Missouri area, from Nevada south and then maybe as far over as West Plains and south, I think Seneca probably has the best chance of winning a state title. I know Marionville is awfully good. They're the Class 1 defending state champs, but St. Vincent is also very good. Ash Grove took Marionville to task, a week ago in a 22-20 game. Nixa, it's Nixa, and they've been awfully good all year long, but they haven't proven it yet against the powers out of the Kansas City area or the St. Louis area. So I look for Seneca probably to maybe have the best odds here, and then maybe followed by a very good Fair Grove team who's undefeated.
Exactly there. And looking at Nixa, their competition in the COC, they've faced some good competition. The thing is, as you mentioned, they're going through Kansas City, so they're going to run into possibly Rockhurst if they get on a streak, or one of those Lee Summit teams up there, or there's a couple other teams that are pretty strong out of the Kansas City region before they can get to the St. Louis side of things.
Yeah, as you look at that Class 2 District 4 where Fair Grove is the 1 seed, and I don't think you can get them, even if they lose to Stratford tonight, they're not losing that 1 seed. But that 2-3 could be interesting because Thayer plays a very good Mountain Grove team who is Class 3, so they'll get the bonus points. But if they happen to lose, Ava has already won, and they're just 0.06 points behind Thayer. So if you add another loss to Thayer, and I want to say, and I know those teams had to have played. No, they won't fall behind Ava because they've already beaten them. So that's, even if the Ava would have more points, Thayer won the head-to-head. So that's not going to change there either, being out of that same conference there. And then you've got the Class 2 District 8 up in the Kansas City area where Brookfield's number 1, Mid Buchanan's 8-0 at number 2, East Buchanan's 7-1 at number 3, and Mid Buchanan and East Buchanan play tonight, and that's going to determine who the 2 and 3 are in that district.
Yep, exactly there. And one of the things with Thayer is their only loss this year was to Liberty Mountain View, but when you look at their district standings, right now they're above Mountain View by less than a point. So I'm just curious how these head-to-heads are going to match up once these points are settled with some of these matchups, because that's not the only matchup like that where we've had a couple, not necessarily upsets, but we've just had really good districts.
Well, and I'm curious to see how Misha handles if they are losers tonight and points-wise. Ava jumps Thayer, but then Liberty stays right where they are. Does Liberty jump Thayer first, or does Thayer jump Ava? Because if, I don't know if they start from the bottom and go up or from the top and go down. So that'll be interesting to see if points-wise, if Thayer ends up in third, Ava in second, and Liberty Mountain View in fourth.
Exactly. I'm not sure if they go by points first and then do the head-to-head after, or if it's head-to-head consideration if the points are close on that.
Well, then you've got a very spread out district in the Class 3, District 5, which the furthest team to the west is Mount Vernon. But teams in that are St. James, Cuba, Salem, Mountain Grove, Buffalo, and Stratford, and those are all teams to the west of Highway 60 or 65, and even further than that. When you talk about St. James and Cuba, that's getting down into your neck of the woods there around Waynesville.
Yep, the St. James Tigers are about 30, 35, 40 minutes down the road. Depends on how the construction's going this time of year. But they a well-improved program over the last few years down here. But just the spread of that district is one of the bigger ranges in area. And looking like Stratford has a good chance of staying number one in that, though. I don't see them falling. Mountain Vernon has a good chance, I think. But then Mountain Grove and Cuba, I think most of that district is set there. The bottom two, depending on where they go. But that's another one of those tough districts where 8-0 and 6-2 should be a good championship game if it works out that way.
Then moving up into Class 4, that District 6, where you'll find Bolivar, Carl Junction, and West Plains. West Plains is the 1 seed right now. Carl Junction is the 2 seed right now, but they play each other tonight. And the winner of that game is going to be the 1 seed. The loser of that game could drop to number 3, because if West Plains is defeated by Carl Junction, they would drop to number 2, and Bolivar beat West Plains earlier this season, and that would put Bolivar into the 2 seed.
Exactly there, and that's a big matchup for Rogersville specifically, because they could potentially jump themselves up also in that with a victory over Bolivar. But Bolivar's been one of those teams that they've been very explosive throughout the year, and they've had some pretty quality wins coming out of their program.
Yeah, they've got wins over Harrisonville in overtime, 28-27. Handled Marshfield fairly easily down the stretch. Beat West Plains also. They lost obviously last week to a good Carl Junction team, and a Parkview team. That was kind of their surprise loss on the season, I guess, was Parkview, because they had a 3-touchdown lead in the third quarter and ended up falling in that game.
Yep. And the biggest matchup in that district is the top 2 seeds. They're playing each other to determine who's the top seed in that district.
And that's happened. That's going to happen in other districts throughout the state too.
And being 5-3, you don't have that big gap difference of 2-game advantage. That second place team, the second place team, they may not be second place. They may be third or fourth, like you mentioned, after the points come out.
And then maybe the biggest matchup of the night is in that Class 6, District 6, which is Lee Summit North taking on Lee Summit. They're 1-2 in that district, both state ranked. In fact, I believe Lee Summit North is 3rd in the state behind CBC, and then obviously Nixa, and then it's Lee Summit North, and Lee Summit is in the top 10. And you've got a Rockhurst team who's lost 3 in a row, and that's unheard of at Rockhurst, but they're at the 3 seed, then Lee Summit West, and then Ray-Pec, who is really struggling at 0-8. But you'll get The winner of tonight's game between Lee Summit North and Lee Summit will get a bye in Week 10.
Yeah. And just looking at the schedule, for example, Lee Summit North, they're undefeated while Lee Summit 7-1. So that should be a very good rivalry game also, because both in the same school district. If I remember the coach mentioning they were maybe 5-6 minutes apart from each other.
Yeah, you could walk to the schools, and Lee Summit's only loss is to Blue Springs South this year. They beat Liberty North 39-33. Liberty North is a defending Class 6 state champion. Defeated Lee Summit West 45-10, Ray-Peg 42-0, and last week they got Staley 63-28. But their last 3 games, combined records of those teams is 2-22. So this will be a real challenge for them facing a Lee Summit North team who's 8-0.
Yeah, Lee Summit North may be the team out of Kansas City that maybe them or Nixa would represent the western side of the state. Would be my guess on that one.
Yep, and it's just going to matter. I think Nixa will get there. I think whoever wins tonight between Lee Summit and Lee Summit North, I think will get there. The situation is going to be where's that game going to be played? If that's top of the bracket, I mean, if Nixa can play at home, then they've got a shot. They've got a great home atmosphere. They got a great facility. It'll be packed. If they can play that game at home, I would think they would get a shot at a victory there.
Yeah, and then looking at. Oh, go ahead there.
No, I was just going to say we've got all that football action coming up tonight. I want to make sure that everyone tunes into the Friday Night Live tonight. Allen may be back with us again tonight on Friday Night Live. We'll cover all the scores from around the state, including games last night. We'll run through Saturday's schedule. We'll visit with coaches. We've already got coaches lined up from Ava and Pierce City to join us. We've also reached out to Kirkwood head coach Jeremy Macklin to see if he might be a part of the show tonight. And, hey, do us a favor. Go to the Missouri Sports Network at Facebook and like us on Facebook, and go to Missouri Sports Network on YouTube and subscribe. And then you'll know every time any of these shows come out live. Allen, what have you got to do tonight?
Well, I've got Waynesville at Lebanon tonight, as we mentioned earlier there. That's the big rivalry game, really last rivalry game that Waynesville and Lebanon have against each other, football-wise anyway. And it should be a packed house. That'll be on Allen Hilliard Sports on YouTube, about 6:30 probably for the pregame.
Very good. Very good. Well, hey, again, everybody out there listening, watching, whatever you're doing, hey, shoot us a note. Sign up and follow us on Twitter at Scoreboard Guy or at Missouri_sports or at Allen Hilliard Sports, and you'll be the smartest fan in the stands. You're watching you're watching High School Game Day on the Missouri Sports Network. Coming up here just a few after commercial break, we'll have our Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks Athletes of the Week. Gabe Fields from Central out of St. Joseph High School had 474 yards rushing and 8 touchdowns. Yes, you heard that correct. 474 yards rushing and 8 touchdowns, both school records for the Indians. And also, Ash Grove Pirates golfer Riley Allred, who has won her second consecutive state championship, and she's just a sophomore. So her freshman year and her sophomore year won state championships. Keep it right here. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol remind us, take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here.
Perez Lawn Care is a proud sponsor of Waynesville Tiger football and Waynesville Tiger sports, as well as Frisco League sports. Give them a call for all your lawn care needs.
Why become a trooper? Competitive salary starting the first day at the academy. Full benefits. A career that can take flight. The opportunity to protect your community. And to know that you save lives. Why become a trooper? To make every day count. Do you have what it takes? Apply online at motrooper.com.
It's time for a fresh approach and a new perspective, and find the Chevy that's right for you. Find new experiences, find new roads. Chevrolet.
Back to high school game day here on the Missouri Sports Network. Guy Newcomb alongside, as always, presented by the Labor's Local 663, who reminds homes to go home to their families as well. So, Chevy Leaders of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week segment. We go to Lebanon High School and welcome in the new all-time career rushing leader in Lebanon High School history, Jax Glendenning. Jax, thanks for your time today.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to be here.
First off, did you know that you were approaching the record going into that game with Nixa?
I knew that I was 104 yards away going into that game, yeah.
Tell us about the record-breaking run.
Honestly, I was shocked that I hadn't already broken the record. I thought that maybe I probably had, because I had rushed, I think it was already like 20 times that game. So I kind of figured that I had it anyways, but honestly, it was just fantastic blocking, and it led to a 65-yard touchdown run, and there's no better way to cap off that record. So,
do you remember going back at in your youth? Do you remember the first yard you gained?
The first start I gained for varsity, you mean?
Yes, sir.
I do remember the first start I had. I played every game as a freshman, but the first time I actually started was against Kickapoo, and I remember it very vividly. Yeah.
Tell us about that day. What do you remember about it?
I don't. So that week leading up to it, I hadn't been told that I was starting at all. It happened that night. One of my coaches, Coach Allen, he's the defensive coordinator. He came up to me and he just told me that I was starting middle linebacker as a 155-pound freshman, and it was actually a really good game. I think I had like 3 sacks on Kickapoo, and my career just kind of rolled on from there. So.
Going back into your youth, have you always been a running back, or have you kind of changed positions?
Growing up in like Mighty Mite football, I switched positions everywhere. I was safety, I was linebacker, outside linebacker. I played line a couple times just for the fun of it. I was quarterback. I've been thrown all over the place. So it's been fun for sure.
And a long history of running backs coming out of Lebanon since Will Christian has arrived there. And, John Barry, going back to Brock West as well. Have you had the opportunity to maybe visit with those guys that you kind of passed along the way?
Growing up, I was able to talk to them a little bit. Honestly, those guys were idols to me growing up. You know how that goes. Always the little kid on the sideline getting to watch those guys. So I haven't been able to speak to them since I've broken those records, but I've known them my whole life kind of growing up. Yeah.
Jax, you're a senior. If you could go back to that Jax Glendenning who was at an 8th grade age, and if you could get in a time machine and go back and give yourself some advice based on what you know now as a senior, what advice would you give yourself?
It sounds cliche, but I would just say to believe in yourself. I said in the newspaper, the Leclerc County Record, I was like, I didn't believe that I was going to beat that record until after sophomore year, when I'd already racked up, I think it was 1,600 career rushing yards. And I was like, well, there's no reason I can't do this now. So I would say just to believe in myself, and you've always got people watching you. So even on and off the field, it's important to be a good role model. Yeah.
Who was the first one that you heard from after the game, outside of your coaching staff, your teammates? Was it a mom or dad who did you get that first congratulations from? Maybe in a text or a email or whatever?
Yeah, it's always been my family. It's everyone in my family. Coming down onto the field after every single game, my entire family is there, from my grandparents to my littlest sibling, and then to my Uncle John, who is at every single sports event I've ever had. So just always my family. And then obviously the Lebanon community is very supportive. So I've always had people texting me and congratulating me. It helps a lot knowing that you have so many people on your side. So
outside of your family, who's kind of been that mentor for you? I mean, it may be a coach, it may be a teammate, it may have been someone who was a senior when you were a freshman.
Yeah. I've had so many in my life. It goes all the way back. My first ever football coach was actually my mom. So it goes all the way back to that. But then you go into middle school, and my coach Starnes and Coach Rhodes at Jolie Barber. That's where I played in middle school. So I go back to those times. They were great mentors. And then obviously I go to where I am now, and every single coach on the staff has mentored me. And then as well, I would like to say Dre Dokes. He played for Kickapoo back in the day. He was a stud, and he's been one of my running back coaches as well. So he's been a great mentor.
Now, being a senior, and you've made your decision as far as what you're going to do next year. Tell us a little bit about the decision you've made.
Yeah, so I'm committed to Harding University. They're the D2 national champions. They're on a 23-game win streak right now. So I was super excited to get that offer from them, and that process kind of started as a freshman. I went down there for a camp my freshman year, and I met with some of the coaches there, and they basically told me that they were going to recruit me, but they can't do it yet, obviously, because I'm a freshman. So the recruiting process was super slow. I had to wait till I was a junior. It would have been last year. And then they finally were able to reach back out to me, and we worked out a deal. And now that's where I'm heading.
Very good. And you're very familiar with Blake De La Cruz from Parkview,
Yeah.
who is their current running back and was on their national championship team a year ago. Have you got to visit with him about making that decision?
Actually, when I went up on my visit where they offered me, I got to meet him and talk to him. That is kind of a really cool history there because my brother actually played against him back when he played at Parkview. I remember being very frustrated watching those games because he he would run all over everybody, so nobody could ever tackle him. So it was really cool getting to meet that guy. Super nice man. Definitely another mentor. Yeah.
And again, we're visiting with the all-time leading career rusher in Lebanon high school history, Jackson Glendenning, here on our Chevrolet of the Ozarks Athletes of the Week, presented by the Missouri State Highway Patrol. Jax, talk a little bit about how you kind of get prepared mentally and physically for a game. You've got a game tonight. What are you doing throughout the day and the week, really, to kind of get prepared mentally and physically?
Well, it goes down to little things, I think, as far as just hydrating, make sure that you're doing the right things. I try and stay away from all processed foods and stuff like that. Try and stay healthy. But as far as like mentally, I would say that I just kind of lock in. I put in my AirPods throughout the school day and don't really, have much outside connection. Kind of just am in my own headspace. And, the more games I play, the less nervous I get to play in them. So I actually just get to go throughout my day like it's any other day. So,
well, outstanding. It's remarkable at a running back position to be able to stay relatively healthy for 4 years, and that's something. And with your diet and your exercise and things like that, and then maybe a little somebody upstairs watching out for you as well.
Exactly.
But well, again, Jax, on behalf of Chevrolet and the Missouri State Highway Patrol, congratulations for being part of the Chevrolet Dealers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me.
And I have one more question. I'm a mandated reporter.
Okay.
Missouri State Highway Patrol, do you always wear your seatbelt?
I wear my seatbelt every single day.
Very good. And you know that the Be Safe, Be Smart, Be Here Tomorrow campaign, you know where it started.
I actually don't.
It was in the Lebanon High School football parking lot.
Really?
Brock West and Hank Brackett
Okay.
got into my vehicle. I was taking them to lunch, and this is 8-10 years ago, maybe longer than that. And they both put their seatbelts on. And I said, hey, I appreciate that. Does that come from mom and dad or what? He goes, oh, no. If Coach Christian sees you in town and you don't have your seatbelt on, you have to run reminders.
Yep.
And so that was it was a cool thing, but I'll never forget that starting right there at Lebanon High School. But
yep.
Jax, congratulations, and best of luck as you go forward here. And we'll be watching the rest of the season and in college as well.
All righty. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're watching the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol will remind us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow.
My heart rages around like an ocean in my head, because there are so many things that I left unsaid.
Go, 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 Waynesville, go! What's up, been wide open, and an easy score.
Dan Johnson Insurance, just down the road from the high school on the main street, is a proud supporter of Allen Hilliard Sports and has been for several years. Give her a call for all your insurance needs, quotes, whether it be cars, vehicles, you name it, she can insure it. Post Pawn Shop has been a proud supporter of Allen Hilliard Sports for many years and is a proud supporter of the Frisco League basketball tournament, as well as other area sports teams including Crocker and Waynesville. Stop by, visit Dan for all your pawn shop needs, whether it be music or hunting needs. Dan can help you at Post Pawn Shop. Security Bank of Pulaski County has been a proud supporter of Allen Hilliard Sports for many years now, including supporting in all the sports, including the Waynesville Tigers and Frisco League area schools, as well as some other events that we have done. Be sure to stop and give them a call if you happen to need some banking needs. They are a member FDIC and a proud supporter of the area community. Once again, thank you, Security Bank of Pulaski County. Show Me Candies and More is a proud supporter of Allen Hilliard Sports and the Frisco League basketball tournament, as well as other things. Be sure to check them out on Facebook, as they provide all kinds of sweet treats for you there. Again, thank you for your support from Allen Hilliard Sports. Check out Show Me Candies. And Allen Hilliard Sports will provide Waynesville youth football and cheer with all live coverage of their home games this year. They have kids ranging from kindergarten all the way to 6th grade. Waynesville Youth Sports has been around for many years, helping to promote football safely and prepare the kids for football in middle school. Be sure to visit Allen Hilliard Sports as we bring live coverage of, again, youth football every Saturday. The Dixon School District is a proud supporter of Allen Hilliard Sports and all Dixon athletics that are broadcast and not broadcast. Be sure to support the Dixon Booster Club. Check them out on Facebook if you'd like to become a member.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 290,000 participants here in Missouri who take part in high school sports or activities.
Allen Hilliard Sports would like to thank the Waynesville School District and all the people there for helping to provide with these broadcasts, providing the facilities and providing the opportunity to do these facilities and allowing us to be there. Once again, thank you from Allen Hilliard Sports, and be sure to support the Waynesville Athletic Booster Club. Aspire to Be One is your local counseling service in Pulaski County. Check them out on Facebook. They are proud supporters of Allen Hilliard Sports. We do regret to inform you that former football coach Chris Lowe passed away this month in August. He was a former football coach and recently a coach at Reed Springs. We pray for his family. Team US Justice Soccer is a proud supporter of Allen Hilliard Sports. They have programs from elementary to high school. Give Coach Madrano a call or check him out on Facebook. Dog Patch in Dixon, Missouri is a proud supporter of Allen Hilliard Sports. They have breakfast sandwiches, lunch sandwiches, all the snacks you need, gas, whatever you need. Check out Dog Patch in Dixon, Missouri on Highway 28 and D Highway.